insect addicts, welcome back to another episode of The Insect Nerd, where I talk about all things inverty and insecty, and also I talk about other exotic animals like my two white tree frogs, Neville and Luna, yes, named like from characters from Harry Potter inspired. I've got my pumpkin patch tarantula who is growing but still not yet ready for camera, but I've decided to call it Aragog. I don't know if it's male or female yet, but I really like the name Aragog, so I'm hooked on that, so I'm going to call it Aragog. And Pharaoh as well, my lovely crested gecko that I love to talk about, so sort of exotic animals and exotic inverts and insects. Well, insects are inverts, so you know. Oh, that tickles. So also, before you're wondering what my t-shirt is saying, I unfortunately can't properly say it, but it says, "I for one welcome our insect overlord." It's a great t-shirt. I love it because I love insects. And we welcome all the insects here on my channel. Even the weird and wonderful, which we have today. So we're going to talk about millipedes in general, but I took out this fantastic species today because I think it's a relatively easy one to handle. And it's quite common in the pet trade, and it's one that I've wanted for a while since I was a child, but I haven't gone and got one. I hadn't had the time. But this is a giant African millipede, and these guys are amazing. I will probably do a proper care video on them soon, but I'm just going to handle and talk about millipedes in general and what I think of them and if I think they're a good pet. Basically, my short answer is yes. I do think they're good pets. Mainly because they are very gentle. They do tickle a little bit and they do stick to your skin, but except from that, they're fairly easy to handle. One negative I would say is obviously, I mean, with all bugs you should really wash your hands, and exotic animals you should really wash your hands, but do not put your hands in your mouth or your it's putting on me, that's great. Do not put your hands in your mouth or your eyes or your nose, because this will make you very sick. They do secrete toxins, which will make you very ill, vomiting and diarrhea. I've mentioned this in a expo video, very lightly, because I got my armoured millipedes and my ivory millipedes from there. And now I've got these ones, which are great, and I've got some other ones as well. I can't remember the name of them right now. But yeah, no, look how amazing the legs are. They are fantastic. So millipedes are in sort of the bracket of myriapods or myriapoda with centipedes. The difference is they have two pairs of legs on each segment, where a centipedes only have one. Centipedes seem to be a bit more flatter. Centipedes are known to inject venom into their prey before killing them, whereas millipedes feed on plant matter, so dead leaves, rotting leaves, rotted leaves that have already rotted. So you mix that around in your substrate with a bit of calcium. So you could put calcium powder in there, or I've got a special millipede mix somewhere from the spider shop. Just a second. Okay, so I've got a special mix here. So this is Millipedes mix, and it's from the spider shop, and it sort of helps with their exoskeleton development. Or you can just get some cuttlefish and sort of powder it, crush it and put it in their substrate. It's sort of a thing they have to have once a week for their exoskeleton development. Especially when they're growing. These guys are full grown, so they don't need it as much, but really it's just in case, you know. But yeah, so fairly easy, you know. They eat fruit and veg. I feed them like once a week, fruit and veg. I mean, there's fruit already in the enclosure for the beetles, so they are greedy and they eat that. They can also eat the jelly cubes, the jelly pots that you get for beetles as well. Loads of vitamins in those, so I do highly recommend those. Substrate wise, cocoa soil is all right. I have cocoa soil at the moment, and there's a lot of mixed reviews. Sometimes they can cause choking for the millipedes, but actually I've had no problem with it. But it can get very dry very quickly, so I'd really give it a big soak, because you can get the bricks, can't you, and then you soak them. But I'd soak them for longer than necessary, because otherwise the soil is going to get dry really quickly. I do have to say, the next time I will do my enclosure, I will probably use potting soil, because it's much more moist, or spider soil, because actually it's sort of more invertebrate focused. And it's more moist. I put some sphagnum moss in there. Cocoa soil's all right, but I'm going to probably upgrade mine to potting soil when I clean it out, just because I think it's much more better nutritionally. And that's the tank behind me. I've been rifling around through it, so it doesn't look very tidy, unfortunately. Looking for these guys. I was trying to look for my ivory millipede, but I couldn't find it. And my armor millipedes are hiding too. So yeah, unfortunately one did pass away. Sadly, old age, I'm guessing. Sometimes you go to these insect experts and they sell you them when they're at their oldest stage, and they know, and then sadly they pass away. It's very common with beetles as well. So yeah, it's just how it is, unfortunately, when you go to those things. So sometimes getting babies is probably better. But yeah, these guys are amazing. I absolutely adore them. I don't have any names for them yet. I've got a male and a female. This one I think might be male. It's quite hard to tell. This one's female, I think. So they have gaps. So men. Let's talk about men. No, male millipedes have gaps where their gonads are, or you know, their bits, their reproductive organs, we say scientifically, Zara, okay? So they have up to 4 of those on their body. She's not showing any, so she is a she. You can't really see, but we'll probably do a biology video another time, but it's quite hard to uncurl her, and I don't want to stress her out too much. You know, so many people are like, oh, millipedes and stuff don't get stressed, but they do. Okay, they just do. All inverts and living things do get stressed, but yeah, relatively easy to hold, as you can see. A little sticky, a little tickly if you're ticklish. Please be warned, it will tickle, but it's all right. Very, very gentle, very easy to care for. Water wise, obviously keep the soil moist. Cocoa soil, again, all right, but I'd moisten it more often than normal sort of potting soil. Just again to mention that the potting soil you can get from garden centres, but please make sure it's pesticide free and chemical free, because otherwise it will harm your insects. I got some online and somebody had used it for their tortoise and it being fine, so therefore I ordered mine from Amazon. But sort of even reptile soil can be good, but certain reptile soils, I would say. But I would stick to probably potting soil more, and spider soil. But yeah, no, I spray them a lot, and the dead leaves must go underneath the soil rather than just on the surface, because these guys burrow, so they won't eat the leaves from the surface. I mean, they do go on the surface. These guys get their food, their sort of the orange, they like drinking and eating the orange from the surface of the enclosure, but they mostly burrow underneath during the day. So yeah, these guys are just amazing. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Okay. But they also are very good with other millipedes. Like, now I won't put too many big ones in with smaller millipedes, because sometimes they can be an issue. But actually I haven't had much of an issue, especially as I have a big enclosure. The one behind me, not the net on top. The net on top is where I'm keeping my cocoons at the moment, and I'm awaiting cocoons to emerge. So that's quite exciting. I've got my Chinese oat muff in there, but yeah, never mind. But yeah, basically the tank's big enough so they don't always bump into each other. But yeah, no, I haven't had a problem with them. They're not very carnivorous, so they don't really attack each other. And they live very peacefully with beetles. So I've got one stag beetle called Devil in there, and I've got brown rhinoceros beetles. I've got sort of flower beetles, all kept in the same thing. And also some isopods. So actually they work really well together. And they are quite sort of friendly species to keep together. and you could keep them apart as well. But I like the thought of a big bioactive place where everything's living together, everything's working together. It's what I wanted, and I still have some bits and bobs to do. As you can see, as I said, it's a little messy because I've been looking for millipedes, but it's normally a lot tidier, and we'll probably do a deep dive on it. But yeah, no, these guys are just very easy to care for. Ooh. They do get stuck to your skin. Yeah, I mean, their legs, like, so many people think, oh, they have like a million legs, don't they? But actually they have up to sort of 300 legs. It's quite weird. But yeah, I don't know who counted all those legs. Don't ask me. I would not try because it would take me forever and I would lose track of counting. It's bad enough counting leaf insects when I get them out of the enclosure, let alone counting 300 legs. But yeah, these guys are obviously classed with centipedes in Myriapoda, or myriapods, because they have so many legs. That's what it basically means. But yeah, it's just amazing. They are amazing pets to have, and I really do suggest you get them. They are fairly cheap as well, which is great. These guys are a bit more expensive because they are giant millipedes. I think I got these from an expo though, for I think £8 each, so that wasn't too bad actually. Sometimes online they're 10 quid each plus another 10 to post, which is a bit of a nightmare because it's just like, no, not another 10 quid, but they're worth it. I want to get more millipedes. The only thing is you don't really see them that often, but you know what, that's how their behaviour is, and that's it, you know, that's just how they act. But yeah, they're great pets to have. I know I've said how great they are like 100 times, but they are amazing. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching my video. I am actually doing a care sheet on these amazing things, especially the giant African millipedes. Their care is mostly the same. And oh, before I forget, you know, I write scripts for these things, and immediately all the things I'm supposed to say just go in the wrong order, but you get the gist. Temperature wise is, you know, sort of, I've got a heat map there, so it's about 25 degrees ish, but yeah, or room-ish temperature, but not 18 degrees, that's too cold for them. But we will talk in depth about care a bit more. We're just talking about suitability here. They are, you know, there's different ones. I mean, which one would you want to start with is probably a question that I will probably get in the comments, and I would honestly say you could actually start with one of these because these guys are quite cool. They're quite big, quite easy to pick up. It's easy to peel off you if they get too stuck. Or any other species of millipedes, actually. I actually find the ones that I've had have been great. There's no particular one that I suggest, but if you want a smaller one, my first one was an ivory millipede. They're great. I couldn't find them, unfortunately. They really like hiding. Ivory millipedes are great. If you want something small, ivory millipede. Armoured millipedes are great, but they look a bit scary, so if you want something a bit more attractive, maybe an ivory millipede is for you. If you want something a bit bigger that you can hold like this, I would really go for a giant African millipede. They are great, easy to handle. But yeah, back to my website. What I was saying about my website is, if you want to go onto my website, see care for millipedes, well, that will be soon. I haven't done the sheet yet, but other things are on there too. And go to www.theinsectnerd.co.uk. If you want to follow me on Instagram, see what's going on, I've got some new fantastic caterpillars. I got some leaf insects. That's in the video before, so make sure you check that out as well, just sort of updates and things. Then go follow me at the Insect Nerd 97. I'd love to hear any questions. If you have any questions about this video or any insect related, other exotic animal related questions, then please be welcome to message me. I'll be happy to answer. All right, thank you so much.